All right, take two. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Derek. This is episode 3.5. All right, so here's the deal. Been trying to go live here for a while, and the live broadcast app I use called Ecamm Live was kind of wigging out, or Facebook was. I don't know what the problem was, but it was not letting me sign on, but I'm pretty sure it's working now and we're up and running. So I am going to dive right in, and even if it's not working and there's nobody here, it's okay. I'm going to publish this later on YouTube. By the way, check out my new YouTube channel. Let's give you a quick tour of that. So I'm on YouTube now, and here is the big, long URL, and as soon as I get 100 subscribers, I can change that and make it memorable. I'll post the link below, but go ahead and get subscribed there. That's where I'll be posting these replays for a while, as well as some fresh tips and tricks and tutorials and all of that kind of fun stuff. So that's coming down the pipe soon. All right, so for today, what I want to do is basically, I've got a handful of things I want to do. I want to show you some font resources that I use all the time, a couple quick Photoshop tips, and then also I was kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to show you guys today, and I was thinking, and I was actually trying to work on a project. I was like, well, why don't I just show you what I'm working on? So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you a couple different tips, and then I've got some real work to get done, and I'll just let you kind of peek over my shoulder, and you can ask questions as we go along. So that's the plan for today. So let's go ahead and get a couple things set here, and we will dive right in. All right. All right, cool. So first things first, what should I show you? Okay, so I'm working on an email newsletter, and let me just go to my just the screen option. Perfect. Okay, so I'm working on an email newsletter, and this is going to go out to those of you who have subscribed to that email newsletter. Got some discount codes and freebies and stuff like that, and I'm trying to stylize it. So as I was working through some different things, I was like, oh, I should just show you guys what I'm doing. So for example, I'm in MailChimp right now, and they wanted a logo, and I just launched a brand new website. So it's still very much in the making, and I belong behind the camera, not in front of it. So I'm still trying to figure out the photos and all that kind of good stuff. But in the meantime, I'm kind of using the signature that I have as my logo. So I figured I would show you how I grabbed that and what I was doing to put this into MailChimp. So to make my logo, basically what I did is I just this is a PNG file, so I just drag and drop that onto my desktop, let go, and it throws it right on the desktop. And then because of the way that this theme was using that, I'm not making any sense, it came in as black when I first pulled it into, let me delete that here. I'm all over the place today. It's all good though. When I bring this into Photoshop, there we go. It's black, and I knew I wanted to do a dark background in that email, so I wanted to make this white. Well, this is a transparent PNG file, and so what I can do with this, really simple, I can come over here to my layers panel, and there's this tiny little lock icon, so I'll click on that. And now what it's going to do is any pixels that are transparent are going to stay that way, and this will only affect anything that has a little bit of coloration to it. So even if it's semi-transparent, it'll affect it that way too. So what I'm going to do now is with my background color set to white, I'm just going to hit Command Delete, and it's going to fill that with white. And then I'll come back over to this layer, I'll right click and hit Quick Export as PNG, and I'll throw it right on my desktop as, I'll call it DM Signature. So I've already done that. I'll go ahead and cancel because I already just did that. And then when I was back in MailChimp, I click right in here where that image was, and it was just a generic, there was actually nothing in there. So I clicked on that, and then I clicked the upload button and threw it right in there. So that's, very, very straightforward, and that's a tip that I use a lot, locking that transparency. So the other thing I've got to do is try and add a photo here. So I'm going to click on that, and this is just one of the default templates in MailChimp, and I can see that the size for this is 564 by 212. So I'm going to jump over into Photoshop real quick. Command N to make a new document. And this leads into one of the tips that I want to show you guys for today in Photoshop. So yesterday we talked about how you can choose these different document sizes, all these different presets, and then we've got all these templates down below. So I already showed you that. But one thing I want to show you even more than that, if I go and make actually let's go ahead and quit this because I don't need it right now. So when you first open Photoshop, it's kind of hidden because I think most of the time, at least myself, I look right down in here where I can make a new document or look at my recent documents. Well, if you look up towards the top, you've got this Work and Learn tab. So if you click on the Learn tab, you can see that they have some really great tutorials built in. And if I click on these, it'll take you to their web browser. And there's even more Photoshop and actually Illustrator, all kinds of tutorials baked in here. So if we come to this page, this is the tutorial I just clicked on. But there's also, you've got Learn and Support up here, or you can click on Tutorials. And it'll show you even more, and you can sort by beginner or experienced. It's a really great resource for those of you who want to learn more. And it's, on the one hand, it's right front and center when you get there, but I don't know, I feel like I'm blind to it. So I just wanted to show you that that is there, some free tutorials for you guys to continue to refine your skills. So anyway, that was one of the Photoshop tips I wanted to show you today. Now let's go ahead and jump back over into this email newsletter. So if I was going to make an image for this here, I can look and see that this is 564 by 212. So come into Photoshop and make a new document. I'm just going to go 564 by 212. Create. All right, so this should be the same size that that image needs. Now I'm thinking about putting an image of myself in there, and I recently just had actually my sister-in-law take a bunch of pictures of me. I'm not super happy with them, mostly because, you know, I'm not used to seeing myself in photos. So something I got to get used to, but I'm building out this website and all this kind of good stuff. So here's one of the photos we did. And for the sake of the tutorial, I'll just use this real quick. I'm in Lightroom. I'm just going to export this image, and I'll go to File, down to Export. And I'm just going to throw it right on my desktop real quick. And I need to rename it. Everything else is fine for now. I'm not being super picky about it just because of the way I'm working right now. There it is on the desktop. I'm going to throw this right into that Photoshop file. And let go. And resize this. I don't know. This is kind of, I think it's kind of dumb, but I look super grumpy or pensive. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to think of something to put in there and show you guys. So this is actually something I'm working on right now today. And I figured I would show you that the struggle is real as far as I don't always know what I'm doing, even though I've been doing this for like 10 or 12 years. And just wanted to let you at least see some of my workflow and my thought process as I experiment with these things. So now what I'm going to do is save this for web. So go to File, Save As. And let's change this to, actually no, that's not what I'm going to do. We're going to export. Go to File, Export, Export As. And JPEG at 80%, so it's going to be really small for that email. That looks great. I'll go ahead and hit Export. Awesome. All right, and then we'll jump back over into MailChimp, and I'll click Replace. Click up here on Upload. We'll grab that photo real quick and throw it in there. So by the time that I actually send this email out, I will most likely change this photo because it doesn't fit what we're doing here. But this is the workflow when I go to make a new email newsletter. I'll go through, I'll find the sizes I want to do, and I'll create the image in Photoshop, quickly export it. I compress it down just a little bit because I don't want it to be huge and break people's inboxes. And then just a heads up for you guys, this will be shipping out here shortly. Just some updates about YouTube, about Facebook, and I haven't gotten to the rest of this yet, so I will be making that here in a little bit. But before I get too far down the road, the other thing I wanted to show you today were some font resources. So I was working on designing something else. And I thought, I know I've shown some of these to you guys, but fonts are something that you're going to use in just about every design you make, and it's really important. So let me show you some of the fonts and some of the libraries that I go to regularly when I'm looking for great fonts. So the first one is fontsquirrel.com. So really straightforward, nothing too fancy. You can look through their library, find a font you want, and download it and install it. So check that one out for sure. DaFont is another library that I used to use all the time. To be honest, I haven't used it quite as much anymore. Usually I'm using high quality fonts from Typekit or from Google Fonts. And the reason why is because those just have the web options as well where I can sync them up with my websites. But another great library if you're looking to make some print designs. So Typekit, a lot of you guys are familiar with as the bootcamp students. I've shown some tutorials on that. But Typekit is where I find probably 80% of the fonts that I use. Now here's one that you may or may not know about. It's called Lost Type. So LOSTTYPE, losttype.com. So when you first get to Lost Type, you'll see this, and what you can do is click up here on this fonts link. And there'll be all kinds of awesome fonts. So pick whichever one you want. Just go ahead and click on the icon there. Now, here's the deal. As students, you can actually come down here, and if you were to put 0 for the dollar amount, you can download this without spending any money. So there's that font. Now, here's the deal. If you're going to use this as a professional design, or in my case, our company is getting paid to do all this kind of stuff. So I would actually throw them a bone and throw 5, 10, 20 bucks in there, whatever you think it's worth. But I'm a huge believer in supporting the community and paying for what we use. I don't just download images from the internet for free. I usually pay for them, and I pay for them either by the subscription with Typekit, or you can go to different font foundries and actually buy your fonts. So anyway, that's an awesome resource, though, as far as if you want to try some of these fonts and like I said, you're a student and maybe doing something for like a charity or a nonprofit or something like that. Some really cool fonts in here that you can download. So check that out. The other one is Google Fonts. So if you go to fonts.google.com, you can see all kinds of fonts. And if you've been using WordPress or Squarespace or any of those, even Wix, I think, a lot of them will sync with Google Fonts. So what you can do there is you can actually look through here, through this library. So you could come through on the right and select the categories you want to show. Maybe you're looking for a good handwriting font. And this way, it's quick and easy to look at the fonts that they have in the drop-down menu, and then you can go back and choose those. So for those of you who are designing, like in the WordPress course that I have out, and I think we use Salience and a few other themes, when you go through and you set everything up, you can actually, you can't always see what the font looks like, but you could come into this Google Fonts website, pick the one you want by how it looks, and then go back in and pick the name. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, moving right along, I think that was the last, that was the last one I had to show you today on that. So what I'm going to do is jump back over. Hey, what's going on? All right, so because I'm doing this feed a little bit differently, and by differently I mean I had to grab the link key and sync it up weird because my software was being goofy. I can't see if there's anybody even watching this right now. So if you have a question, say hello or say you have a question, or don't. I mean, you can ask questions later in the feed. I'll give it a second here. So what we're going to do, I am going to get this fixed so that way tomorrow's stream is a little bit smoother and more better. Anyway, that's about it. So excited to be doing these lives. Hopefully they're getting a little bit better. And don't forget that I'll be posting these up on the YouTube channel. I'll be sending out that email that I just showed you what I was working on for those of you who have subscribed to my email newsletter. What else is going on? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Anyway, that's about it. I'm really excited to continue to do this and answer your guys' questions. So be sure to comment in the comment section. And that's about it. Oh, okay, I see. Comments and reaction is not available when using a stream key. Okay, so I'm using a stream key. So give me a second here. I'm going to open up my Facebook page just in case you guys are asking questions that I can't see here. I'll give it a second. All right. I feel like the silence is painful. Oh, that's not working. Oh my goodness. Hey, there it is. All right. Hey, I can see myself on the phone. It's trippy. It's like Inception. Dream within a dream, right? Okay, so Gabriella asks, is my sister a photographer? She is good. She is not a photographer, but she should be. Actually, I made her stand in, and I took pictures of her to get the settings, and then she snapped a bunch of photos of me. So, good job. Thanks for doing that, sister. Okay, 4 comments. Let's see what else we got here. Whoa, turn that off. Guys, I'm a hot mess today. All right, let's turn this off. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. Hey, what's up, Ryan? Ryan's here. What's up, guys? Boom. All right. Are you guys still here? I can't even tell. We got 4 people live today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my nonsense here. Did you guys learn anything new? Or is this stuff that you totally already knew and you want me to get into more complicated matters? Is that a yes or a no? I'm going to give myself a thumbs up. Ooh, and a heart. What do you think about Typekit? I really like Typekit a lot. I think it's great. What do you think about Typekit, Gabriella? Do you like it? Yes or no? The other hard thing with these is this feed might have like a 1-minute delay, so it's going to make it really awkward if I hang and be quiet in between stuff. So this is all part of the process, you guys. I'm, figuring this. This is my 3rd day ever doing lives. Not bad. I mean, it could be a lot better, but it could also be a lot worse. Let's be honest. Okay, it doesn't have to be today, but a lesson on WordPress setup would be great. So Ryan, do you have access to my WordPress course? If not, hit me up in Messenger, and I'll send you a link for a freebie to join. So, yeah, do that. Hit me up. Or maybe I'll just send it to you. How far your student license goes. Okay, cool. So Ryan, you got access. So what about, setup, what kind of WordPress setup are you looking for? So I guess for the replay on YouTube, you guys can't see at all what I'm doing here. So the question was, doesn't have to be today, but a lesson on WordPress setup would be great. So if you don't have access, I've got a course on Udemy called, I think it's called Web Design with WordPress, everything from beginning to end, or something like that. I'll make sure to put a link in the bio. But in there, I give you a walkthrough of how to set up WordPress locally, and I use a service called Flywheel. It's actually Local is the app. It's called Local by Flywheel. Let me show you real quick. All right. Let's try that again. There we go. All right. So this is what I recommend if you guys are getting started with WordPress or interested in getting started with WordPress. Check out that course. I'll give you guys a huge discount. But you can download this app, and it makes getting started in WordPress really, really easy. So I highly recommend that. I use their hosting as well, too. Just recently, I've started to use their hosting. I used to use GoDaddy pretty exclusively, which is great. I mean, it's worked well for me for a long time. And then I tried a couple other hosting platforms. Some of my bigger clients that I work with, like really big clients, we use WP Engine, which is like $800 a month. It's insane. But the reason why is because they have so much traffic and it's an e-commerce site. So security is important, speed's important. So we've used those hosting platforms for what we do. Okay, so Ryan, you have a .com and you need a .org. So tell you what, we should probably just catch up in Messenger so I can answer your questions, because I feel like I'm not totally getting what you need. But anyway, yeah, that's what I know. Any other questions today, you guys? Anything else you want to learn? I don't know what else I could tell you. What else? If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to that YouTube channel. That helps me out. Plus, then when I do new videos, you guys will be the first to know. That's exciting, new and exciting. What else we have? So okay, I'm going to put Gabriella on the spot. So Gabriella, you are taking courses, no, you're in classes right now. and I know you're learning CSS and HTML. And what's your favorite? Are you liking doing web design? I guess it's more like coding than it is design at the moment. Do you prefer working with web, or do you like print better? So Gabriella says she has a domain on one.com and not loving it. So I would think, I think all of my domains are purchased through GoDaddy. So the ones that I have that are hosted other places, I go into GoDaddy and I point that domain, the DNS record is what it's called. I point it to whoever is hosting. So you just go in and you tell it's easier than I'm making it sound. But basically you tell it where to go and then it shows up. So, I mean, I've had good luck with GoDaddy. It's been good. All right. All right, so I'm going to let the feed kind of catch up a little bit with your questions. If you have more questions, go ahead and let me know. What should I do? I don't know, guys. I'm kind of thrown off a little bit by the app not working, so I don't want to drag this on too long. Let's go ahead and continue the discussion, though, if you want to, in the comments below, or I'll hook up with you guys in chat. Gabriella says, for now, web. Generally, digital is more fun. So, you know what? I agree. Like, the reason why I like print and web design are two different reasons. Like with print, I love tangibly being able to hold something I've made. And now that I say that, I don't have anything next to me to grab, but I like being able to have something tangible that I made out of a computer and pull it out and be like, look what I made. Like, this is awesome, right? But I also like the fact that these websites, like I just showed you my website, that's still very much a work in progress. But the fact that you can be all over the world and I can send you a link and you can see what I've been working on. I think web is so cool. So definitely would agree with that as far as just the web side of it. Now, from a business perspective, you guys, if you guys can stay current on web design, that's awesome, because here's the deal. You have access to all these different apps with Adobe, everything from Dreamweaver to Photoshop and Illustrator, all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the value of what you're producing with your laptop or your computer and the software you have, interactive things, anything you've had to code or create with like Adobe Edge Animate or JavaScript scripting, all the different interactive style web-based things are so much more valuable to the marketplace. What I mean by that is print design is valuable. There is value there, but it's such a small, not return on investment, but it's expensive to produce. And, if you're a packaging designer, you can make a ton of money doing that as well. There's a lot to figure out with doing package design. But I'm talking more like if you're a print designer that does business cards, for example, like companies don't value business cards as much as they value other things like their website. So to know how to design a website, you're using similar skills that will overlap. So, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, even sometimes on some things, and I'll show you how that ties together. But the point is I can use the same base tools and a little more knowledge, right, for the coding and stuff on the website of things. And all of a sudden I can charge 3 or 4 times as much. So for me, not only that, let's talk about the scope of a project. So if you're working on something for print, again, let's say a business card or a brochure, I mean, they're not that complicated. You could finish them in a day or in an afternoon. It really depends on, the client feedback. Granted, it might take a couple weeks by the time you've done your back and forth and your discovery phase and all that stuff. But a web project can keep you busy for a month or months, right? So for us, for our family, for consistency, it was awesome, let's say, landing a web project that you knew was going to be $15,000. It's like, okay, great. Like, we can really get into this and keep busy. And you figure your beginning work and your ending work. So beginning, you meet with the client, you figure out what they want to do. You have all those discussions. That's going to happen on the smallest projects, like a business card, to your largest projects, like an e-commerce website. So if you're doing the similar opening and closing kind of work, you might as well make the middle part really, really valuable and take more time and get paid more. So that's where a web project is just, in my mind, if you're trying to make a living with this, it's a much easier. Not, I don't know if I say easier because it is complicated. That's why you can charge more. But as far as a highly demanded position is learning how to do the CSS and HTML and even JavaScript a little bit. I don't really know that much JavaScript. I know enough to be dangerous. If it's already in front of me, I can reverse engineer it, but I can't code that from scratch. So let me see if there's any other questions here real quick. Okay, packaging design. So I've actually, dang, I don't have that here either. I'll have to show it later. I did a really cool package design for the company I work with. And the question is, not on topic, but what about packaging design? What is that exactly? So that can be anything. Basically, it's creating the package for a product. So a good, man, I feel like I usually have all the things I can grab, but I just moved my office space and I'm just a hot mess. Give me a second here. Perfect. All right, there's this. Okay, I'm back. So the irony is I keep almost everything that I buy, the boxes for it, and it drives my wife absolutely bonkers. From iPhones to the drone I bought to, I don't know, just stupid stuff. Even these headphones, these Beats headphones have really cool packaging, and I left them at my work office downtown. But so packaging. So here's an example. Here's a hard drive. How is, I think I'll say this. If you're the company and you have this product, in this case, it's a hard drive. It's this hard drive, right? How do I put this on a shelf somewhere and convince somebody that this is the one they want to buy, right? So it's everything about it, from how does this ship safely? So is it in this case, they've got, it has this little box. Ta-da. Okay, and then it even has this clear stuff on it, and where does the cord go? So like even this type of, I'm losing all my words. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is part of the packaging. Even though there's no, quote, graphic design that went into this piece, it's all part of the puzzle. So now if you're going to make this box, it's like, okay, well, how would I even begin to make this? So what you got to think about is, sure, it's a 3D object now, but when you start, it's actually flat. So let me break this apart here. All right. And this is actually how, so when you do packaging design, like you can mock stuff up with razor blades and all that kind of stuff. So your design file would actually look like this, right? So the way I would work, and the way I've worked on packaging before, see that? Ta-da. Okay, and also notice how, let me see if there's a good example. There's not really. Okay, here we go. So this is facing up, but you'll notice this tab, the text is upside down. And the reason why is because when it gets all put together, when you open it up and it's the first thing you see, well, now it's right side up. So there's a lot that goes into the thought of, okay, how am I going to package this product? And the way that you would begin that is you'd start with, well, what's the product going to be packaged, and how does it need to be, contained? You think about sizes for shipping and materials, and then this is all stuff that you aren't expected to know right off the bat, and that's why really good package designers make a ton of money because they can do this quickly. But the box that I made for this material for this thing, I worked with the company that had CAD drawings of the design, so they had 3D models of what the product was. And I did a bunch of research, looked online for different vendors, found somebody who did the foam insert to keep it safe. So, basically kind of like what they got going on here, but instead of it being out of cardboard, it was made out of foam. So we sent them the CAD files, and they sent us a sample, basically a laser cutout where the product would go so we could make sure everything fit, and it did. And then with the box, knowing the sizes that we needed, I talked to a printer, and they sent me an Illustrator file that was basically just an outline. Just think of a line. Basically, pretend like it was this box, but in an outline form. So just the strokes. There wasn't anything filled in. So then what I did is did all my measuring and all of that and brought it into Photoshop and designed the panels. And then I exported it back out as a PDF and sent it to the printer. So basically, imagine, let's see. This is going to be really what I like to call rustic. So imagine that this is my box file. Oh, this is going to be terrible. This would be real bad. It's all good. I don't know. I'm just making it up. Let's pretend like this. You can laugh. This is so bad. Let's pretend like this is my file. Here, ta-da. Let's pretend like it has a picture of a person on the front of it. Just okay. So I would actually export the entire Canvas artboard, right? And then the printers would go through, you know, and they would figure out where the crop marks were and where the fold lines were and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of times when you're dealing with packaging, there's a lot more people involved than just yourself. So like I said, you've got potentially an engineer with the company that's going to give you exact product dimensions. You potentially have a printer or somebody else who's really good with packaging that can give you an idea of how to achieve that look. And then when it comes down to designing, the rest of it's the same. So if you guys are, you know, gone through the course, you know that we start with a poster. And the reason why we start with a poster is because it's basically a rectangle. If you can design on a rectangle, you can do anything else. I mean, if we look at this design or even this real box, like, sure, it might be a little scary because you've got some interesting, you know, you've got folds and you've got die cuts and all that kind of stuff. But if you break it down, it's just a bunch of rectangles, right? You know, so here's a yellow background. Here's a product image that you cut out, put on top. You know, here's some text, and that's all it is. It's super simple. So package design is another fun career you can get into and make a lot of money with. Not that it's all about money, but it is kind of nice to be able to pay your bills and do something you love. So packaging design is one that could be cool. All right, let's see. Yeah, exactly. So Ryan says, typically you can find a die line from the company you get the package from. So there's a lot of things that have already been made. So a lot of times you don't even have to reinvent the wheel. You can just go to one of these suppliers or vendors and they already have the templates. Kind of like, I think I recommended some of you in that membership site I had for a while. And I did an example with Sticker Mule, right? And so you go to the website and you can download the templates for the sticker sizes and everything. So same kind of deal applies to the packaging. What else we got here? Anyway, that's packaging. So lots of cool stuff. Any other questions before we bounce out of here today? Appreciate you guys showing up and listening to me ramble. Don't forget to ask your questions in the comments. Check out that YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram at dmitchelldesign. And I will figure out some sort of cool giveaway and giveaway stuff. Because yesterday Ryan thought he wanted my books. All right, guys. That's all I got today. Thanks for joining. And I will catch up with you all tomorrow. Probably, what is tomorrow? What is today? I don't even know. That's how the day has gone so far. So tomorrow I'll probably do more of an evening thing. I've got stuff in the morning, work stuff to take care of. So we'll probably plan for about 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. Unless it changes, which it might. But I'll try to not change it. And now I'm just rambling some more. All right, guys. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome night. And I will catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.